We're back in business. And by business, I mean murder hoboing. Though, to be fair, just now, I'm not murder hoboing. I'm heading home. I'm back in my own little keep here. I've returned to my castle, and what I'm going to do is check out the I'm going to check out the dungeon that supposedly lies beneath my castle. Because that sounds like a fun thing to do. The endless paths. Somebody in chat asked me what my favorite Warhammer Fantasy Xenos race is. Or Warhammer, sorry, Warhammer 40k. You know, I don't know. If I had to answer off the top of my head, Dark Eldar. If I had to, if you're pressing me, which evidently you are. All right, the endless paths of Audnua, level 1. Now we've been here before. We've spilled blood on these floors already. So this is just a continued visit. Let's see what my paladin has. So I've got an axe. I've got some field triage healing. I've got a weapon that I can light on fire. I can do that twice an encounter. I can lay on hands once an encounter. I can mark an enemy, and I can go into zealous mode. So let's try that. Yes, so zealous about killing those beetles. Well done, my paladin friend. So I'm looking for the entrance to the next level. Wherever that might be.
Why not?
Right, and this was that guy's house. I think maybe down here?
Ready.
Let's go check it out.
Me. Quit.
Here we are. Think we are so close. Beneath our very feet lie the endless paths, built by Audnua, the great Engwithan king. Well, up here, this is all Adiran, of course. But should we descend far enough, we will find some real history. To uncover that great king's tomb would be a dream. But it is one of his servants I am after. Gabranos, a powerful mage and a dedicated scholar. A keeper of lore, just as I mean to be. He was in possession of the Tanvi Oratoa, or whatever form of it preceded the one we know. I've seen it in ruins, alongside Gabranos' name. Scraps of the same symbols and verses we know in Rauatai. He must have held the words in high regard. Or perhaps he was even the author.
Why does this matter to you so much, you fucking nerd? Rauatai faces troubled times. Okay. The Tanvi Oratoa is at the heart of that. Oh, it's like a religious war. So he's seeking the person who wrote their Bible. My brothers would have it so. We do not need to isolate ourselves to make Rauatai great. I know there's more to the chant. It wasn't created out of sand and water 1,000 years ago, but brought to Rauatai by Engwithans. If I can find the original, I can prove it. They'll know what the chant is far older than we believed. That the Engwithans favored peace, the trade of knowledge. If we follow in their footsteps, we can make a kingdom just as grand and lasting as theirs. How can you be sure what the Engwithans believed? The Engwithans are all gone. Averting conflict is a noble ambition. And a lofty one, I know. I'm glad you feel the same. I feel it's a better course for Rauatai. We're a people of many races, and we've always stood together. I feel we are destined for greatness. Well,
If my
let's start
sources
looking.
are correct, Gabranos will have brought the text with him. It will probably be within a library, or a tomb perhaps. It tends to be one of the two. Let's be off.
Yes, let's. Okay, there you go. So explore the paths with him on board. All this pointless mundane gear. Here we go. Dungeon time. It's dungeon time. Kobolds. I mean, off-brand kobolds.
Que?
Que? Destroy the unbelievers.
Yes.
So this is the part of the game that is just dungeon, right? Like nothing is really happening. You're just moving from room to room, killing stuff.
Ah. For the Republic.
This is the Icewind Dale portion. Now I don't remember Icewind Dale as well as I remember Baldur's Gate, but I have this distinct remembrance that it really like didn't have a lot of story. That it was just like Infinity Engine plus dungeon stuff
Slowly
equals
now.
game.
And the fire shows me something new.
Why did you all just walk over that? Alright. It should pause when you detect a trap, I think.
Good. Slow and silent.
Griffin agrees with me.
Permet.
Tiny dragon was here. I didn't even have time to cast the spell.
Margren's fire casts light in dark places.
I'm ready.
Yes.
There we go. There's a target-rich environment over there. Oh, you got really beat on.
Eh?
Durance, you haven't gone down in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should. Evidently, there's a way that I can set the game. Not to show me the trap, or to pause when you get the traps. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, let's do that. Let's find that in the options. Auto pause. Low endurance, low health, enemy spotted, weapon ineffective. Hidden object found. Okay. There we go.
Tell me.
So there's some dragon eggs. Obviously this is the, like, kobold... The Zorip nest, maybe? No, let's make the guy I'm actually fighting the target.
Yeah.
Let's try to get this worm. Get on my level, worm.
Tell me. I'm ready. I'm ready.
my role-playing game co-pilot is pretty excited about this dungeon, it sounds like. God, I really need to be in stealth mode the whole game and while I'm down here. I like the design of the floor tiling in this and the walls. Like, the textures are quite good.
The archer's book.
Yes?
Huh?
What?
Yes?
It's, while they're clustered, let's suck another fireball back here. Aw, my main character went down. That's annoying.
Zero. Where? The archer's book from Varan. Where? Tell me. The archer's book from Varan. Zero. I'm ready. The archer's book from Varan.
Combat with many dragons. Okay, so here's an ecological question. If there's this entire tribe of Zorab living down here, what do they? How do they get food? Like, how do they come and go from this dungeon under my house? And if they do, like how? Like where is the exit? Whoa, blood sacrifice pit. How did we not notice this before? Stepping into this chamber, you're assailed by a cacophony of screeches, growls, and barks. Blood-spattered Zorabs dance in frenetic, leaping motions. To one side, a Zorab plunges his hands into a bucket teeming with blood to daub patterns onto the others, eager to join the rites. Wow, okay. Far into the room, one Zorab, wearing the long skull of a young drake and vibrant feathers, shakes a staff toward the gathered Zorabs, screeching and clicking. Suddenly, raises the staff above his head, shrieking with renewed vigor. He swings the staff downward to point at the pit, and then to you. I think we've just been invited to participate. Jesus Christ, I think you're right, dude. Hold the line. Let them come to us. Let's throw a buffing spell down here. Sorry, Sagani, you don't get the effects of it.
Yes?
Tell me.
Hi?
Quit?
Yeah, her damage resistance is not as good. But I like that she does more damage. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's try to freeze some of these suckers.
What? Follow your lead.
Oh, you like dragons, eh?
Hi?
Have all the dragons in the world.
What?
I cast her a good healing spell on her. I'm afraid she's gonna go down before that healing spell goes off. Nope.
Stand still.
Actually, I'm gonna send these guys to harass these other worms. I wish these worms were melee, because then they could engage. But unfortunately, that is not how it is.
Quit? Permet consuelia. The archer's book from Varan.
Good. Well, at least the dragons are blocking us in. And letting the enemies kill them first.
Following your lead.
Alright, everybody heal her. What do you got? We got heals left.
Yes.
I have.
Let's go.
Quit.
Alright, dude.
Freros, seres.
Yes.
How may I?
You can help me by killing this high priest, please. Alright, everyone attack the dragon.
Hi?
Make the dragon go away. Excellent. Well, this dragon fight ended up being a lot less ridiculous than the last one. Only death upon the endless paths. Wow. I seem to have found the temple bummers.
No problem.
Blood spilled from the bucket seems to have eaten into the stone. A rope tied to the bucket looks long enough to descend into the pit. Jesus. Well, I mean, there's two things to consider here. One, the pit is obviously a terrible place to go. I should definitely not go in the pit. But
Tell me.
two, I'm playing a role-playing game, and I can quick save. Into the pit. What do we got down here? This wide pit descends into a grim darkness. Oh, it's a time travel pit. It goes into the future. There's only war in this pit. You hear the whistling howl of wind, and from time to time, hot gusts of air tug at your clothes. Use a grappling hook to descend into the pit. Keeping a firm hold on the rope, you begin your descent into darkness. Soon the edge of the pit is far above your head. You can hear only the creak of rope and your own breaths. Soon enough, however, you see another source of light far below. Past the dangling end of the rope, you can see a dimly lit room, the center of which is a circular stone pool. The pool is filled with blood, and even at the distance, you can pick out various limbs and mangled body, largely Zorip in nature. The tunnel bored into the stone ends away above the chamber below. Your rope extends no further. Well, fuck it, let's jump into the blood pool. Bracing yourself for landing, you loosen your hold, dropping down the remaining distance to land in the pool of blood with a noisy splash. The thick, murky waters hinder your swimming, threatening to pull you down into the unseen depths of this grim pit. But at last, you crest the surface, pull yourself up over the brim, to find yourself at the edge of a reeking, sludgy mixture of blood and limbs. It's a typical Saturday night. Into the dead pool. Oh, limbs and organs bob in this mire of blood and gristle.
The term godlike doesn't refer to my ability to carry unlimited quantities of war spoils.
Okay, I get it. Your inventory's full. You don't want to be so fancy about it. Jeez. Yeah, you don't have a magic cape yet. Maybe we'll have a magic cape. Regular ass pistol. Here, I have a spell ward amulet. Nope, I just gave you a cape. Okay, alright.
Quit?
Cool. Oh, gold. And a stiletto. Alright, alright.
Ah,
Oh, there's some people alive down here. At the edge of this expansive chamber, encircled by a jabbering host of Zorab, sends a massive reptilian creature. I've killed these before. It's fine. It's just totally cool. The Zordips shift anxiously, looking up expectantly as a drake as the beast stretches leathery wings in challenge, brushing the pillars to either side. Yes, more sacrifice. It flaps its wings briefly and stirs up great clouds of dust. Come here, godlike. Be honored. I'm fine right here, thank you. Here, I said. Here! It hisses and claws the air, sending one Zorb scrambling on a reach. It disobeys me. Stupid, small, squishy sacrifice. Lizards will fetch it. If sacrifice will not come. He sounds really stupid. Let me pass. I'll do you no harm. What? Sacrifice cannot leave. You see a section of the drake's scale chest begin to glow orange as it laughs. Sacrifice is not very smart. Flames gout from its nostrils and gaping jaws. Master made me lord here. Here I am king. I am god of fire and gold. You're god of nothing. There are a lot of Zar up here, so I don't know how well we're going to do. But TBH, I'm not super concerned about it. I feel like I'm going to be okay. I'm powered by hubris. Though I don't have a lot of spells left. We'll have to see.
Eh?
And I have this new untested paladin companion.
I'm ready.
Yes?
Aloth, do bad stuff at them.
Ready, Watcher.
Yes?
That's a good start.
May I
Just
help?
keep throwing fireballs into them. Actually, I'm gonna buff. I'll use this to defensive bonus everybody here.
Your word.
Let's help her take
the way.
those out. All right. Any more fireballs? No? Alright. Throwing those AoEs. Anything else? No.
How may I help?
Very inspiring music. Game's really doing me a solid, helping inspire here.
Tell me.
Yes?
That's not so bad. This dragon's coming over here to cause trouble. I wonder if I can. Yeah, I
This
gotta.
isn't working!
Dead on!
Everyone heal.
Lava will be on seek.
No. What? Don't die, tank.
Yes?
Actually, I've already got those. I think I will just blast them.
How may I help?
Here, both of you throw some heals on her.
Aye.
Oh, really, I need some new magic.
Lava will be on seek.
Aye?
Here, both of you. Magic, please. Her alive. Oh, there she goes.
On your
breaks. Okay.
That's not very helpful.
Is there an ability you can get to bring people back once they've been knocked down? Okay. Fuck you, blood pit dragon. You think you're so cool? You're not cool. You're dead. You're totally dead. Now I have all your stuff. Well, that was satisfying.
I'm ready.
And now I'm going to camp. This seems like a great place to camp. This disgusting pit underground. Amulet of health. And cool, badass shield. Perfect for this lady. Bam. So this shield gives me a deflection and defense bonus while prone and stunned. And the necklace gives me a bonus to my endurance. Cool.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a little bonus loot now and then? Blood Pit was a great idea. Oh, it just bypasses the first 4 levels. Oh. So you can come at the Blood Pit from another way. And then... Okay, so this is level 5. This appears to be a page torn from some larger text. Skada did not make it. I know Merrick tried his best. No point in turning back. That's what Merrick's saying. I think the point is leaving these ruins alive. We've lost half our people already, and I'm not sure how we're meant to survive this place, especially with Skada gone. The gods were kind to let us find that study in the books there. The tomes will fetch a good price in and of themselves. We don't need to go any further. But that seal has stirred his blood. He's sure we'll find more Engwithan relics below. Every step takes us further from a guaranteed haul, deeper into unknown territory. I do not know what madness has gripped him. I cannot stop thinking about Edriga, the way she screamed. That note sounds terrifying. Whoops. Okay, let's fall back here. Aw, Aloth. Just walks into that trap. That's my fault. I'm sorry, man. Sorry. That was really dumb. I gotta remember to sneak. Better for sneaking. Okay. Let's get our stealth on.
I shall be discreet.
Listario, welcome to Math Squad. Thanks for the subscription.
I haven't seen before.
Whoa, there's a lot of traps in this room.
Would you look at this?
Alright, everybody stand over here.
What?
Endurance, do this thing. There we
I'm
go.
ready.
We earned a trap. Cool. Oh, so we disarmed it and we got the trap itself. That's cool. I wonder if I can I'm gonna plant these traps. Why not, right? That's a thing I can do? Yeah. Yeah, suckers.
Aye?
Yeah.
Generic chanting.
I'm ready.
Fantasy music.
Following your lead.
No, kill the high priest.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Aye?
So much fire. So, way back at the beginning of the game, someone mentioned to me in chat that the Cypher's, what is it called? This thing, Mental Binding, was overpowered. Yeah, it's easily my most used ability. Like, no question. Being able to just paralyze characters for a few minutes and then
I'm ready.
smash them it's so good. It's so good.
Slow and silent.
Like I can't imagine like not using it. Yeah, it's my favorite. Is that even a door? Doesn't look like it. I mean, it looks like a door, but it doesn't look like I can use it. All right, let's do that again.
What?
Durance, you weirdo. Set a trap.
If it makes you rest easier.
Come on, jerks.
How may I help?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels so good. So funneled.
Que? Eh?
Que? Eh? Ma? Also, is she a paladin or a chocobo? Maybe both. I mean, she's a bird lady, so. No, Itamak, what are you doing? You're supposed to keep the battle line solid, man. Itamak, your skills, they're lacking, my friend.
Yeah.
How may I help?
What's ahead of
I shall deal with this one.
For the Republic! Permet consolias.
That was a highly effective battle. We just wrecked those things. Alright, let's
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Can I do anything in here? What's up with this door? Is there another way in, perhaps? Is my character simply not high enough in some stat to find the entrance? Probably.
Que?
Probably that. Some mushrooms.
How may I help?
Eh? Que?
So much combat. Okay, let's do my usual debuff everybody thing.
Eh? Permet consolias. Eh? Que?
That's it!
The Atlas Vox Conferan. Vi arches vox conferan, permet conx volias.
So dead. Sorry, off-brand kobolds. You are wrecked.
Tell me,
For the Republic, permet conx
Hi?
Yeah, so not that much to say, while I'm down here.
Vi arches vox conferan.
And we can talk about mega dungeons, I suppose. Should we talk about mega dungeons? So there's a long running tradition. Oh, it's a lot of stairs. Long running tradition in Dungeons and Dragons of dungeons that span dozens of levels. Ruins of Undermountain, Dragon Mountain, Ruins of Undermountain 2. Caverns of Thracia is kind of a mega dungeon. Dungeons in which you enter the first level, and cool, a little map. You enter the first level, and you basically have your entire campaign inside the dungeon. Oh, this map is great. I would love to have this map as a poster. I bet it's gonna look so cool when it's done. So you go in at level 1, the top of the dungeon, and you play your whole campaign. So you're fighting dungeons at the beginning of the game. You're fighting inhabitants such as giant rats and kobolds and goblins. And then at level 2 you fight orcs, and at level 3 you fight ogres, and so it all just kind of continues along. And eventually at the bottom, you're all like level 18, and you've taken several dozen trips back out to town, and you've really built up this campaign just around exploring one underground environment. There's a long-standing tradition of that as the campaign model. I mean, really, if you look at Dungeons and Dragons, like its original edition, like post-chainmail, pre kind of like big deal professional, like the three books in the wood grain box edition of OD&D, it only supports dungeon play. So of course, like why would you have a campaign go anywhere other than just right into a dungeon? Aw. This one's ill. See how dull the eyes are? Examine it. Cut its throat. Leave it alone. 3 choices here. I'm gonna examine it. Strange discoloration on its skin in several places. Okay, so it's sick. I don't want to just kill it. It didn't attack me. Yeah, I like the Mega Dungeon. I haven't done a Mega Dungeon campaign in a very long time. I think it'd be super fun. The rules for Dungeons and Dragons, like early editions, are very good at handling that kind of stuff. You can also do a Mega Dungeon really easily with Torchbearer, because in the style of basic D&D, it's built to support one very specific type of gameplay. And it's fun for an ongoing game that doesn't contain the same players. Like, this was the thing about OD&D, was that Gary Gygax and his companions often switched up who was playing in what campaign. So while Mordenkainen and his party might have done part of level 1, the next session Mordenkainen might not be there, so you've got Bigby and Tasha, and they have their people, and they're going to go in and they're going to deal with what Mordenkainen left behind. It's a bit like a West Marches, but for a dungeon. They all share maps, trade maps with each other, and say, okay, last time we did these things. Try to hide stuff from each other, because they're like, oh, we're gonna hide treasure here, and we're gonna come back and get it, and hopefully the other players won't find it. It makes for a very persistent but limited world, which I think is a cool way of going about it. And just talking about it's getting me like excited about the idea. I should do some kind of Mega Dungeon thing soon. think it'd be fun.
Order Republic! The Atlas Vox Conferan!
Oh, what the hell, bud? You. Oh, he walked over that trap.
Eh?
He's trying to not repeat his mistake, huh?
Ah, got him!
Rock and roll.
What?
Slow and silent. I'm ready.
Something over there.
Oh, the trap in that hovel.
What?
Let's go disarm the hovel trap. Oh, great, I got a broken sword. Oh, neat.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
We've talked a little before about what constitutes a dungeon, haven't we? I mentioned World of Warcraft and the changing of the word dungeon to mean dangerous environment. Talked about that, like enclosed space, adventure setting. Yeah, I mean anything can be a dungeon, right? That's sort of what I mean by that.
Something over there.
Ooh, exciting pile of purple stuff. Oh great, a fine club and some camp stuff I don't need. Brilliant. Okay, level 3. This looks like a crypt.
See now what the flame has shown us?
Crypt or
There,
a tomb?
done!
A turban and some fine armor. Oh, an ogre. I haven't seen ogres before. Cool. Looks like an ogre. Definitely ogre-ish. Cross Staves has just issued a dare to create a 4-dimensional dungeon. I mean, that's easy, right? You have the normal 3 dimensions that everyone occupies, and then there's time. So, I mean, make a dungeon that changes over time. That you can say, we want to visit this dungeon. You have level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you have level 1 in Epoch 1, 2, and 3. You're just crossing that axis. So you can activate the time portal, go back, solve a puzzle in the past, go into the normal time, and then go to the future. I think that qualifies for the challenge, and I think it'd be really cool. We want to get all like 5th dimensional hypercube dungeons. That's a whole other fucking mess that I'm not willing to get into. But actually having a dungeon where you actively pass through time forward and backwards, that would be really cool to make that an option, to say like, do you want to visit this dungeon in this era, that era, or another, and change the puzzles and change the encounters accordingly. Very cool. Was that a quest item I just picked up? We're looking at scrap of paper. Okay. Oh, I'm collecting ogre blood now.
Quickly and quietly.
That's what we've come to. Ancient buried excavation. Oh, so cool. Oh, this dungeon map is great. I wonder who drew it. So this is a very Jaquazian dungeon in that it's not in at the top, down to the bottom, back up to the top and out. It's like into the top, down to level 5, up to the middle, out, back in another lower level. It's brilliantly designed in that way. Like, there's a whole article on a blog called The Alexandrian. You might have heard Stephen and I talking about it on Being Everything Else. Jaquazian dungeon design is a particular style of designing a dungeon where you build it to be non-linear explicitly, so that the characters can explore it in a bunch of different ways. It limits that challenge funnel where you're like, well, if I'm on level 1, the next level must be level 2, and I don't have to worry about thinking about the challenge, which is very cool. Yeah, it's a discipline that I think is fantastic and a really great way of designing dungeons. More ogres. Ogre druid? What in the hell? Such ogres. Alright, we can pretty much stay where we are.
Aye?
What?
I'm ready.
Oh boy, these guys hit hard. To try to do some buffing.
What?
Following your lead.
Stunzenet postulago bus.
Oh boy. Down she goes already. That was a hard hit.
What?
Try to blind these ogres.
Aye?
Yeah.
Of course.
That
Following your lead.
escape order was a mistake.
How may I help?
Roak 10!
We might still be able to get through this. I believe in us.
Fear we've lost the angry one! I shall deal with this one.
On your word.
How may I help?
Following your lead. Roak 10!
Aye?
Good kiting.
Lavaru beyond sea.
Lavaro Beyonce.
How may I help?
Yeah, Ogre Druid. I killed you. I met you, and I killed you. Become an adventurer.
Tell me.
Discover exciting
Quickly and
new
quietly.
peoples and cultures, and then murder them for their blood.
I'm ready.
So yeah, let's keep talking dungeons. So the dungeon as an environment is obviously a classic place for adventure because it's an enclosed space with bad shit in it, but rewards for overcoming that bad stuff. So they have treasure and they have monsters or whatever, if obstacles. And they have a fairly they have a bounded space. I think that's super important because to qualify for dungeonhood, I think that that's necessary. You really need to have that enclosed environment where you know what is or is not part of the dungeon. Now you can play with those lines. You can blur it a little bit, and you can have a dungeon that's spreading and starts to overtake the places around it. That's definitely a valid thing. But generally speaking, the boundary is what makes the dungeon, right? It's the inverse protective circle. It's keeping bad stuff in some way. Sometimes literally. Sometimes a dungeon is literally inside a protective field, right? It's the idea, and someone asked me about space horror the last time that I was playing. It's the same idea as space horror. You are cut off from the rest of the world by some boundary. You are stuck in a dangerous place with a bad thing, and getting out is a risk, is a gamble, or is difficult in some way, right? Because once you're on level 8 of the dungeon, it's hard to get back to town. You gotta risk all those encounters. So, there's a reason that the dungeon has endured and lasted as an environment. I'm going to take a short break. We're going to run some commercials, take a quick break, and when we get back, we will continue exploring this particular dungeon. And I'll talk a little bit more about dungeon design and creating subsurface environments for adventurers to adventure within while we fire arrows at ogres. So stick around, and we'll see you in just a few short minutes.